Hi guys, immigration is not a priority for the Labour government, or at least not now. Why? Well, simply because it isn't the main issue on the minds of the British public as a whole, and Labour voters in particular. What is embarrassing is that Reform UK, the crazy wing of the Conservative Party, and media outlets like GB News and Talk TV demand that the Prime Minister and Home Secretary Yvette Cooper make it a priority. Why? Because they need it to be. Because talking about immigration makes Reform UK and the far right of the Conservative Party relevant. It gives them power. Here, GB News hosts and a Tory peer showed frustration that the government isn't taking their pet project more seriously.
We rarely ever hear from Keir Starmer about this issue, and for a lot of people in this country, it is one of the top three, if not the top issue for them, that we don't appear to have, managed borders at all. And the cost of this is spiralling out of control, and also the threat to security, threat to safety, all of these things. And Keir Starmer does not seem to want to talk about it at all.
Number one, Steve, most comms people will tell you, I think, you cannot tell a good story until you've got the results. And the results are getting worse, not better, because people will laugh at you. They'll say you're doing all those things, but it's still not having an effect. That's the government's comms problem. They haven't got a story to tell that people won't laugh at the moment. Maybe that'll change, but there's no sign of it. Second, nobody believes that this is a priority for Keir Starmer or for Yvette Cooper. They don't believe it's a priority. They don't talk about it. They don't show any political welly for it at all.
They do talk about it, but it's not a priority, yes. It's not a priority because it's not a priority of the British people. You know what the priority of the British people is? The NHS, the cost of living crisis. That's the priority. Why would the Labour government focus on something that's not a priority? Why would the Labour government focus on something that's not a priority for Labour voters? Not just the British people, but Labour voters as well. You want them to focus on something that's not a priority. It's a priority for you, it's a priority for the far right, but it's not a priority for the British people. Why would they do that? It makes no sense whatsoever.
They run away from the subject as fast as they can. They've got no answers. So people don't believe they're serious. They did sort of believe that Rishi Sunak was serious about it because of the political effort he put into Rwanda, whether you believe that would work or not. But they don't believe these people are serious. They don't think they mean it. In fact, if anything, they think they probably welcome migration because ideologically, they have a lot of supporters. I'm not saying this is necessarily true of Keir Starmer and Yvette Cooper, but many of their supporters actually genuinely believe in a borderless world.
They do.
Who believes in a borderless world? This is a straw man. Nobody actually believes that. Not that I've never met anyone who believes in a borderless world. Actually, no, a correction. Lord Moylan here believes in a borderless Britain because he supports Brexit. He does not support checks on goods coming in. He supports an open border when it comes to Brexit, but when it comes to immigration, no, we need to close the border. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Anyway.
The third thing is the smartest thing Keir Starmer could have done, instead of punishing the pensioners on day one, if on day one he'd come in and said, I've got 6 planes in the air to Rwanda, full, leaving tomorrow, even if he hadn't done any more, the deterrent effect of that and showing how serious he was about it would have transformed his image on this issue.
Well, only if you accept it.
So, Keir Starmer should be taking advice from far-right politicians. Keir Starmer should be taking advice from Reform UK. Keir Starmer should be listening to people who are obsessed about immigration on immigration. Once again, Starmer is not talking about immigration because it's not a priority. It's not a priority for Labour voters. It's not a priority for the British people. He's been talking about workers' rights. That's a priority for Labour voters, Labour supporters. He's been talking about the economy. That's a priority for the British people. And he's been talking about the NHS, which is also a priority. Why would he focus on something that's not a priority? Like, Labour has said that they're setting up a command. They're talking about smashing the gangs. Whether they're actually going to do that is another thing. But it's not a priority for this government. It's a priority for you. It's a priority for GB News. And that's where it ends. and Reform UK. And that's where it ends. And that's where it should end. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.